reinforcements.
Welcome back, Commander, to the Nod side of the N64 missions for Command & Conquer Tiberian Dawn.
No problem.
This mission's a little bit of a puzzle and a little annoying at the same time. First things first, there's a couple problems that this level has. Some of it seems to either be like how it was transferred over to the PC, and others are just like how the mission's designed. For example, it's probably not a good thing to put trees next to bridges, and the reason is because if you have something like a flame tank, the flame tank sometimes defaults to attacking a tree for some reason. I guess it assumes that it can like just burn through it or something. In any case, there was at least one run of this level for me where all of a sudden one of my artillery units just takes a massive flame burst and almost dies. Obviously in a level like this where you have a limited amount of units, it's not very helpful. I also had to save a couple times just because this is one of those missions where you kind of have to be a little more careful with how you progress. Like you shouldn't lead with the commando even though it's your best unit for visibility. And the way that the level sort of plays out puts more emphasis on actually coming here to the left than you would probably believe if you just like messed around with the level a couple times. The reason I say this is that the briefing tells you that you should, draw out GDI forces, but it's kind of hard to actually do that. The AI doesn't produce more, so it's not like you're going to be in too much danger. It's more of just I don't know really what the threshold is for units to actually start moving out. Obviously, I'll look into the code and what the triggers are eventually, but it stands to reason that there's sometimes an issue with that. The AI also has a very big desire to go for the commando and only the commando. And this is one of those missions that if the commando dies, it's an automatic fail. So the only thing I can really suggest is, one, if you can, try to actually destroy the village on the bottom left. You don't have to go for like a complete destruction. As long as you can get like all of the medium tanks out of the base, you're pretty much good. The mammoth tank will make its way to you eventually, so that's not something you have to feel like pressured on doing.
You got it.
And if you're lucky enough, you can place yourself in a way that prevents the mammoth tank from even getting close to you.
Unit lost.
It does cost me a flame tank though.
Yeah, I'm on it.
Yes, Roger. Affirmative. Reporting. Vehicle reporting.
Now at this point, I could probably take my flamethrower and bring him back, but there's not too much of a point to it. He's not really going to be useful, and the time it would take him to walk all the way and everything, it's not really worth it.
I'm on it. Joe, I'm on it.
Yes, sir. Knowledge.
I guess I should also mention that this is like the third or fourth time that Nod is stealing nuclear weapons, or, sorry, nuclear components from GDI bases. It seems like they need to, up their security a little bit.
Got it. You got it. Reporting.
Yes, sir. I'm on it. No problem.
One would assume such an important weapon should be maybe a little bit more closely guarded.
Yes, sir. You got it. I'm on it. Joe.
Also, it might seem weird, but the level is functionally over now.
Yes, sir.
It won't be for another 2 minutes, but that's because the trigger didn't play. And that's the bug that I was referring to. I don't know what specifically causes it, but basically, no matter what you do,
Yes, sir.
you kind of have to either send the commando twice to the crate location, or send him there and I guess just have him wait.
You got it.
Again, I'll look into it later, but
Yes, sir.
That seems to be the only thing I can think of. So obviously I played this mission for about 23 more minutes after the fact, not counting all the restarts I did at the start, to get to this point, and then eventually realize, like, oh, it's just a visual or other bug.
You got it. No problem. I'm on it. I've got a present for you. Yo, I'm on it.
It makes it pretty annoying because if the player doesn't know, then they're just going to go through the level quote-unquote normally. And you would think maybe you just have to destroy all the GDI buildings because you want to eliminate anybody from knowing you stole the parts? I don't know.
Affirmative. Moving out.
But for all my griping, and bellyaching, it's still a nice level. It's not too complex. The units that you're given are more than capable, as long as you micromanage a little bit. They're more than capable of completing all the objectives. And sorry for my excessive saving, but this was just because I didn't want to lose my commando. Until I realized there was this bug.
Yes, sir. You got it. I'm on it. Yes, sir. I'm on it. You got it. I'm on it. No
Mission
problem.
accomplished.
Yep,